Okay, cool. So Adam, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us. So really keen to find out a little bit about your recruitment journey so far. So you started with dualta in the UK, is that right?
Yes, I started off in the London office, and then about 6 months or so ago I came out here to New York.
Nice. And what originally got you into recruitment?
So I think like a few people who ended up in recruitment, I went originally to a recruitment agency when I was younger, just to see. I didn't know what I wanted to do out of college and a few different things, and spoke to an agency, and they ended up saying, oh, well actually, it seemed like you'd be suited to working here, would you like to join us?
I swear recruitment agencies get the best pick of people, don't they?
Exactly,
You could do that. Okay, so a little bit like all of us, kind of fell into recruitment a little bit. And what were you recruiting for before you joined us?
So before joining us, I was working more in graduate recruitment.
Okay.
So not a specific industry, working across all graduates, doing internships, graduate jobs. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the interaction with candidates, interaction with clients, actually feeling like you're helping people. It's something I enjoy and become very passionate about.
Brilliant. And so then obviously that's a big change to have gone to legal and compliance, is it?
Yes.
So how was that whole transition?
Yeah, it's very different. I'd done a little bit of kind of legal compliance work in the financial industry in my previous company, but not to the same level or extent. But it was really nice to actually find something to specialise and focus on. Because I was doing different industries, I never really could become a specialist. But here, learning so much about the legal compliance market within financial services, something I didn't know much about before. But now I've learned lots about it, and it's really interesting stuff, and I've enjoyed being able to chat with different candidates and clients and get on the same level with them.
Yeah, definitely.
To be able to actually talk on the same kind of sphere.
And have you had that whole, I know when I first started, in mining and oil and gas recruitment when I was in Australia, it was like I used to have recruitment dreams about all the terminology, because you just getting your head around everything is so, I suppose, challenging at the start, because you just want to absorb and learn as much as possible.
Absolutely. I mean, getting, as you say, the jargon and vocabulary, it's a big thing to get over. That's the first kind of initial hurdle. And yeah, definitely having dreams of absorbing everything I can, speaking to everybody I know, watching videos and listening to podcasts, everything you can really to just soak up as much as possible.
Try and really kind of like immerse yourself into it.
Exactly.
I think that's the best way, isn't it? You can't really go into these things half-heartedly. I think you've got to just go in and go, right, I'm gonna know everything in this space, and I'm just gonna throw myself in. And it's great that you use podcasts as well. Obviously. Seems to be the most common way now. I think everyone listens to them.
Yeah, I must say I'm not a huge fan of podcasts, but when you get a good one, it really is quite invaluable.
It's such a
commute and exactly.
So talk to me a little bit about the transition then, obviously coming from London over to New York. How did you find that process? How's it been kind of, bedding in here, getting up and running?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the last 6 months here. I mean, people always say London and New York are so similar, and I think, yes, in a lot of ways, of course they are, but in far more important ways, they're very different. The whole New York lifestyle, it's a lot more fast-paced. Things are open a lot later, which means everything that happens at later hours. It's not more as condensed as it is in London. But people, in truth, are just much more friendly here. I found settling in very quickly, because you just go to a bar on your own, even if you don't know anyone, a local bar. In London, people might not really talk to you, or they'd ignore you, but here everyone is very keen to speak with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Which helps so much, the settling in and meeting people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I grew up in the States originally, and I found when I went to the UK, it was so strange, because in America you're just so used to, if you're waiting in line or you're queuing, you kind of talk to the person next to you. And I remember in the UK it would be this look of kind of like, why are you talking to me? So I get that here. I imagine business is a little bit more receptive, probably.
Absolutely, yes. It's much easier to talk to people just on a kind of casual level and talk professionally than it would be with just kind of stranger people you've just met in Europe.
And you've had a little bit of early success here in New York. What sort of things do you think contributed to that?
I mean, a big part of it is just learning the industry as quickly as possible, being able to speak with as many people. When I first arrived here, because I didn't really know the New York market, But a big part of my early time here was spent just going out, meeting with and speaking with as many people as possible of all different levels within legal compliance, just to get a better sense of the market and how to really approach people. And I feel that's something you have to do at the early levels, just to enable success further down the line. So you just have to spend time really getting to know the market and what's out there.
And a little bit more personally, one thing you love about New York?
I mean, I've grown to love just the fact that all bodegas are open 24 hours. It sounds so basic, but it's just nice being able to just to go out at any time and not have to worry about when the nearest shop is going to close. Be able to get food at all hours.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, the nightlife here is fantastic. I really prefer it to kind of London, which now really does feel a bit sleepy to me when I go back.
Well, I have to admit, since we've been here, like, you know, the city never sleeps thing, you always think it's a bit of a tagline, but being here, it doesn't actually ever sleep.
Exactly.
So on the flip side, any frustrations? Any things you change?
I mean, not too much personally. I think I've gone about my 6 months here about as well as I could. I've really made an effort to go out and meet people, gone to things like meetups and going to book clubs, which isn't something I'd ever done in Europe, but here you kind of do things a bit differently, which has been good. Still, in New York there are a few frustrations, mainly when it comes to things like tipping and the tax. I never know what I'm going to pay.
Yeah.
And that can sometimes still bother me a little bit, but generally it's fantastic. I've really enjoyed it here.
Cool. And if you could give one bit of advice, so knowing what you kind of know now, and obviously you're still very much, you know, on the start of your journey in New York, but knowing that, what bit of advice would you give to someone considering moving here?
I would definitely say go for it. I haven't regretted my decision at all. It's something I'd always wanted to do. I'm sure so many people have that dream of living in New York City. And it's been so great. The one thing I'd certainly recommend is really you have to put yourself out there. Speak when you arrive, you need to speak and leverage every connection you can, even if it's a friend of a friend of a friend. Just put your name out there and chat with them, because you never know where it might lead and whether they can help you, you know, on a personal or even professional level.
Perfect. All right. Well, Adam, thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much.